What is going on, guys? Joey here. Should you change your training on a diet? Short answer, it depends, but leaning towards not really, and I will explain. So when I think back to my preps, where I was when I went from 105 to the high weight class, during that time you kind of feel, almost invincible. You feel like you can just kind of recover through. Like, I remember getting through some really hard weeks of training, and at the end of the week I'd be like, damn, I'm really proud of myself that I was able to complete this. And then since you're bulking, just eating Chipotle every day, right? You just recover. You just, 2 days go by, a day goes by, whatever. The next time you hit that lift, you're like, oh, I'm good to go. And during that time, I tend to sort of, as I'm increasing my workload, like normally if someone's like maintaining or dieting, I will, like, if I have someone training and hitting a week that's like more than what they've usually been doing, I'll anticipate some kind of pullback and, lower things a little bit. Whereas if someone's like bulking into that, they could probably recover through it and handle the next like progression. When you're dieting, and I guess we'll go over like, why would you want to like diet in the first place? Like, what are you trying to do? I would only really want to diet for lifting if I had spent a good amount of time in a surplus building, reaching a new level of strength. I believe that, like, if you're not having those phases in your training, it's kind of hard to justify dieting because you're not really building on anything. Like, what are you dieting for? What are you dieting to, right? For example, hold on, there's a car coming at me full speed right now. We barely missed it, fellas. We barely missed it. Yes, you want to spend a good amount of time just building, because again, what are you dieting for? Like, you're not even, if you're not making a dent in your own progression, then why are you cutting? So you spend some time bulking up. You hit some good PRs and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go down and, take what you've spent all this time building and refining, and maybe you're moving down, a weight class, and you want to, hit some PRs in the class down, hit a like formula PR, something like that, right? Maybe you're just not comfortable with the weight that you're at right now and you want to move back down. No problem. So you get to the point where you want to cut. You want to diet down. Let's say you are maintaining your training weight and you feel pretty good on like 3,000 calories, right? Let's say you're bulking on 3,000 calories and you maintain around 2,600 calories, right? Give or take. And you want to go down to about 2,300 calories to get some cut action going. Now, that's a pretty, you're going from adding weight to losing weight. You're not even going to maintenance, right? Which you might want to have a little middle ground in there first. That's going to take some getting used to. And if mentally you're not right, you're not like prepared for what's coming, it can kind of mess you up a little bit, because what you used to feel in training, your expectations of training, your mentality towards like heavier days, that's all gonna change. Now, the best diets that I've ever been on, I was walking a lot. I didn't really change my training much. If anything, I used my accessories kind of as like more cardio, almost more energy to burn, right? But I really disconnected myself from you know, like coming into the gym and, you know, after a rest day, when you're in a surplus thinking, okay, I'm about to hit some crazy weights today, right? Just kind of let go of that and understood that at my time right now, where I'm at right now, you know, that's not the goal. That's not the purpose of what I'm doing. The purpose of what I'm doing is to maintain what I've built the best that I can, and then just get the weight off, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing right now, which obviously is, you know, it takes time, it's tedious, and I'm saying it to you like I'm telling you what, you know, what you have to do. But let me tell you, it is another thing to do it. Like, it is just another thing to actually go through that, because it's going to kind of suck. And if you're not prepared for that, it might be a little bit bumpy. You might have to kind of go through it a few times. It can be a little bit jarring. So you just want to really make sure that you know, just prepare yourself and like you can't like go back and forth. If the goal is to lose the weight, your numbers might take a hit. Even just from like being less bloated, for example, you might not lift as much weight. I know that would affect my squats a lot. And my bench to a lesser extent, even the way that my belt fit on deadlift. We have to like be ready for that, right? So for me personally, I still had all my comp lifts, but I understood that they were not going to be as poppy, not going to be as snappy. I apologize if there's wind. It's like super windy for some reason. I'm not really sure. I have to listen back to this and hope it's all right. Actually, hold up. All right, I'm like in the mountains on a trail, and it's like a lot of wind coming over the hill. Not really much I can do about it. We got bugs, grasshoppers, and whatnot. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, because we're getting to the keys. But basically, you have to adjust your expectations. You have to know that your training, it might feel a little bit different. You might hold up surprisingly well, and you just want to make sure that you're clocking in days where you know that you're in a deficit, and you can start to accumulate some momentum. So each day you're like, okay, I was able to get my training in. I survived my training. Granted, it's not the same as when I'm bulking, and, you know, coach told me that was going to happen, but I was able to finish my day in a deficit. I feel good about what I was able to accomplish, and I'm listening to my body, and I'm not, you know, like, let's say you're at the gym and something doesn't feel right, or something feels off, or, you know, you like finish your squats and then you get to like a leg accessory. Maybe you have a bigger compound movement as an accessory or something, and you're like, you start warming up on it, and you're like, ooh, that was like a little tweak in my glute or hamstring. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and call it not even worth it. I'm gonna report that to coach. Could be me, could be Coach Will, Coach Cam, Big Jesus, Big Grant, Big Delaney, Little Haley, who knows? Little Remy, who knows? Big Isaac, Big Body, could be someone, right? One of us, or whoever, right? You report that, and you should kind of do, you know, even if you're at any point in training, but you don't need to push through that. You know what I mean? And that just goes into like being more experienced and knowing like, okay, I got like 97.5% of my gains from my comp lift. My accessory is going to give me that little extra hypertrophy action. Do I really need to push it right now? No, it's not worth it. Don't even worry about it. So that's what I would say. If you have to skip accessories, the reason why you want to generally keep things pretty consistent is because, you know, when you were in a surplus, all your numbers and everything that you were doing was based on what you were eating at that point. So now you're not only are you lowering food, but if you lower your activity, Are you really in a deficit? You know what I mean? So you just have to like be aware of those things. But I would say generally, it's more about like adjusting your expectations. Your training doesn't really have to change that much. I like to add in like walking or a cardio that I can do while I multitask. So walking is chill because, well, one, you get to be outside. Maybe you're walking your dog. I can answer my phone. I can do emails, you know, just be productive as I'm walking. The stair stepper is like harder. It's more tedious. You have to like pay attention more because you like trip over yourself. The elliptical is hard. Like sometimes if I want to, like maybe I have a really easy bench day and I'm feeling, again, this is like very disruptive, and you could do your cardio like however you want, but just like make sure that you're getting good quality sessions in. But maybe I like feel really good and I have like a good lower body day or whatever, and I'm like, okay, let's finish strong. I'm gonna get on the elliptical. I'll do like 3 to 6 rounds of like pushing my heart rate up to like, ooh, that's windy. I might really push it. I might push it to like my heart rate to like 180 2 or 3 times during that. And then I will just like coast around the 140s. And then I might push it up a little bit higher 2 or 3 more times. And that's it. And I'll try to do that within 15-20 minutes. Or I'll just walk. Granted, the hard cardio that I just mentioned, it's, you know, you got to kind of be careful because you're already dieting and now you're like digging a really deep hole. And if you are really consistent with your diet after a while, you might have to have a refeed where, you know, or just like lower your stress. So like you're eating more and you are taking your cardio down for a short period of time. Just kind of reset. Let your body know like, okay, everything's all right. You're not going to die. Let's get through what we have to get through. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, I mean, I hope that helps. I mean, shit, could have gone in. We kind of touched on a lot of other topics, but yeah, your training doesn't necessarily have to change a lot. I think it's more important that you stay in a deficit and that you're not like pushing through injuries. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you listen to your body and, you know, work around the right things, you can pretty much get through. And you don't have to diet for a super long period of time, maybe 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And that's really going to help you, even if you're just like getting some weight off and you want to continue bulking. A lot of my more advanced guys in the off season, we really try to we gained some pounds, boys. I gained some pounds. I think Keiko might have gone up about 20 pounds, 25 pounds this off season. He's already down 10. But yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes. Especially when you've been lifting for a long time. You need to bulk and cut. Anyway, thank you for making it this far. Don't forget to like. Really motivates me when you guys like that video and it gets views. Because then I know that these matter. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.